Greetings, royal family. I'm back. All right, we're on episode 11 of this season 10 of Love and Hip Hop New York. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you are new here, welcome. If you're a returning royal family member, you know how this thing goes. So the episode opens up with Jonathan screaming, "Stop her, stop her," and the girls are fighting. So they are still at this hotel. They picked up where they left off last week. Kimbella and Yandy. Now I do have a question. Who is Yandy with an X? Did y'all catch when Yandy said in her confessional, she was like, something about you don't want Yandy with an X. Who's Yandy with an X? Anyway, so Yandy had enough and she pretty much joined Kimbella in the drink throwing ceremonies. Now here's how I know that Kimbella is a punk. Now we all know that Yandy doesn't do all that jumping up and throwing drinks and all that extra stuff, right? Kimbella knows that of out of all people, Kimbella knows that, right? So she has Kimbella has all this spice for Yandy. And that's because she knows Yandy is not going to engage in any sort of like physical altercations or physical shenanigans. And Kimbella did not display this same behavior with Chrissy. She didn't. I wonder why. And yes, I am going to reference that every chance I get, as long as it's applicable. So Jonathan said that the hotel is going to be sending him an email. And yes, they will. And it serves you right, because that's what you get for inviting Kimbella. You already know that Yandy and Kimbella are not getting along. You know that Kimbella wants all the smoke and all the confrontation to go down. So that's what you get, trying to call yourself being peacemaker. No, you want the drama. So it serves you right. They will be sending you an email. I thought that was funny. So Kimbella, she's pretty much embarrassed because Yandy keeps on bringing up the fight that Kimbella had with Chrissy seasons ago. Now, I just wish that Kimbella would have that same energy for VH1, because they're the ones that keep on showing and replaying that scene. Why are you mad at Yandy? Because she talks about it? Anyway, so we move on to Jonathan and Sin, and they meet up at some bar with some sort of infused drink or something that makes Jonathan's mouth numb and feel weird. So they're giggling, and Sin tells Jonathan that she and Joe are in a good place, like we care. And they plan on going to therapy again. And as far as them getting back together, she says she's taking it slow. Translation, she's hoping that by them going to counseling, Joe will change and they can get back together. That's what I got from it. We move on to Safari and Erica, who are at a sonogram appointment, and they're seeing their baby girl. And Safari, he's getting emotional, so it's a beautiful thing to see. Now, if you're not aware, Safari and Erica did have a baby girl. They had their daughter, and she was born on Super Bowl Sunday. So congrats again to them both. Now, we go back to Kimbella. She meets up with Sin and Samaya, and they meet up for a spa session, and Kim reveals that, she invited Chrissy. So I thought that this was really interesting that she would invite Chrissy knowing that Chrissy and Samaya have beef, unresolved issues. But it seemed like everything was all good. Chrissy, she shows up. I noticed, she showed up for this spa thing, but she was absent at the fundraiser, and she didn't come to the slumber party. Interesting. So Chrissy arrives, and she actually gives Samaya a hug. See, when you can't beat them, you got to join them. You don't have anything to say about Samaya now, Chrissy, huh? Yeah, she actually gave her a hug. So, Kimbella, she fills Chrissy in on the slumber party. So they're talking. And it's just like this whole episode surrounded, like was Kimbella and Yandy. You know what I mean? And whatever. So Sin, she confirms once again that Yandy did not start this altercation and that Kimbella was wrong for throwing the drink. We know, Sin. Thank you. We know. So Samaya, she suggests some sort of health and healing session for all the ladies, which I think is hilarious. Because Samaya, she seems to be in a really good place. Millions of dollars will do that to you. So I ain't mad at you, girl. So we move on to Joe and Sin. For whatever reason, she shows up to Joe's place. Joe was taken aback, but he invites her in anyway. So she is telling Joe about Tahiri, how she was acting at Erica's birthday party. And I'm just wondering, why does Joe need to know this? Joe says there's no me and Tahiri. There's no Joe and Tahiri. We know that Joe likes playing these games. He's not fooling anyone. So we see it, Joe. And they basically, Sin and Joe, they agreed to show up together at Erica's baby shower, Erica and Safari's baby shower. Now, Joe, he loves to give people something to talk about. And that something is him. If you like it, I love it. Hey. So anyway, Yandy and her fur, next scene, we see Yandy and her fur. She shows up to meet up with Rich. They talk about Olivia for a little while. And I guess Yandy is trying to play peacemaker between Olivia and Rich because apparently Rich and Olivia used to even live together. They were brother and sister. They were cool. So Yandy's trying to be the peacemaker for whatever reason. Yandy also invited Samaya, who had beef with Rich and Olivia in the past. So this is just meet up. Kim Bella is brought up, and Samaya, she's just going to make it her mission to try to get Yandy and Kim Bella back on good terms. Now, Samaya, sis, you and your crystals need to stay out of this. I think that she needs to stay out of it and let these girls cat fight it out. So we move on to see the boys in the studio. Fresher, he is screaming on the mic. Safari, he's doing his thing. And Pap is spitting hot fire. So Safari, he's working on his album. So I don't know if this particular song is going to be on the album or if it was just a front for the episode. But if Safari manages to get Papoose to appear on his album, that is a huge deal. Safari will definitely get a little bit more street cred for that. Anyway, so Pap, he's talking to the fellas. He's stressing over his case with Remy, and I can totally understand him stressing. You know, he had to be without his wife for, what, 8 years? Remy was gone for 8 years. So in real time, I am glad that this case was thrown out. So that girl, Brittany, or whatever her name is, she couldn't prove her case. There was no evidence. The case is thrown out. But it's good to see them go back and highlight this because Pap is really stressing out. So oh, poor Pap. Anyway, baby shower time. It's baby shower time. So the guests are arriving. This is Safari and Erica's baby shower. Joe and Sin, they walk in together. They were holding hands. And it basically gets people talking, which is what Joe Buttons likes. That's exactly what they wanted to happen. Now, the venue and the guest attire was very nice and classy. Very appropriate. The decor was extremely appropriate. You know, pink. Erica had, I think she had pink hair. Safari, he had pink hair too. He had on a mauve colored suit. That's what it looked like on my television. But in spirit of it being a baby girl, everything was pink. And the guests did look classy. Their behavior wasn't, but they looked classy. So Tahiri, she shows up dressed in all black like the Omen. Okay. And Joe does go over to her and, you know, he says hello, gives her a kiss on the cheek, and you can see in the distance, you know, Sin watching and looking like a hawk. And I'm just like, what are you? Like, what is this? They're probably still together, and they're making it seem like they're not together for the cameras because it just doesn't make any sense. Next scene, for whatever reason, Sin and Erica, they meet up. This was like the episode of the meetups. Everybody showed up with their furs, and they're meeting up. Lord, these meetups, they're exhausting. Now, I just don't get why Erica feels like she has to be like the middle woman for Tahiri and Sin. I don't get it. And I think Joe plays a major part in this, and he's staying out of it. You know, he's making Tahiri believe, well, no, he's not making her believe, but he's telling her one thing and he's telling Sin another. It's obvious. And Tahiri is taking it upon herself to act as though her and Joe still have something. I don't get it. So, you know, again, Sin, they're talking, they're going back and forth with Tahiri and Sin. They're going back and forth. Erica, she's trying to mediate as best she could. And Tahiri really sounds great. Like, she just sounds crazy and kind of out of place. I wish they would find a different storyline for her because this looks pathetic. This looks really pathetic. You know, she's just talking about Joe and her still connect and everyone has that one ex. She's saying this to Sin, who's not really supposed to care because her and Joe are not together, but I can understand they just broke up and they have a kid together. Tahiri, you and Joe have broken up a long time ago. So I don't understand what you're fighting for. Like, Tahiri, I don't get it. I really don't get what you're fighting for. But go ahead, girl, get your camera time. I'm not a hater. So we move on to the tea party. Now, this is supposed to be this health and wellness and Zen event that Samaya put together. So Kimbella actually shows up looking like she's going to a tea party. Pearls and white dress with black gloves and rings. I'm like, what? So this is supposed to be some sort of energy cleansing, and I guess Kimbella didn't really pay attention. Like, the tea party was the tea that Samaya sells and not an actual, high tea, somebody should have sent her an email. Anyway, Yandy, she came dressed to fight, okay? Yandy had on her champion. Yandy had her champion sweatsuit on, sneakers, and she had on her Scully. She came to fight. So Yandy pulls Samaya aside and she speaks to Samaya, privately, because she's still upset. And she tells her, like, look, I don't want to ruin your event. And I can't even read out these positive affirmations. Chrissy is there. Jonathan is there. Kimbella's there. Yandy shows up. And Yandy's she's not feeling it. She's still upset that Kimbella threw a drink in her face and wanted to fight her. So meanwhile, while Samaya is talking to Yandy, outside the room, Jonathan and Kimbella are bickering as usual. You know what I mean? They just fight like brother and sister. And Chrissy is telling them to take their voice level down. At this point, I'm shouting, Chrissy, shut up at the TV. Like, she's always telling somebody what octave to use and what tone to speak in. Meanwhile, she can bark and scream at anybody she wants. Take your tone. She's always telling somebody to take their voice down. First of all, Jonathan and Kimbella were speaking. Mind your business and read your affirmations to yourself. I was excited for your return, but you're getting on my nerves. Go back where you came from. All right, so Yandy is letting Samaya know again, look, I came here, to support you. I made the attempt, but I really want to tear her face off. Like, I want all the smoke with Kimbella. And she's telling Samaya, look, I'm going to leave before I ruin your event. So I thought that was mature. Yandy didn't want to fight. You could tell. She came prepared just in case, but at least she did show up and show her support. So at this point, I'm just noticing, they go back to Jonathan and Kimbella talking, right? I'm just noticing that Kimbella is giving me like Madonna, Like a Virgin performance at the MTV Music Awards circa 94, right? I got a chance to really look at her. I just had to point that out. I don't know. Anyway, Jonathan leaves because he wants to go check on his friend Yandy. Plus, I think he rode with Yandy, so, that's his ride. So she's leaving, he's leaving too. And I'm glad that they did not tear up Samaya's place and her event, her place of healing. I'm glad. And Yandy and Jonathan, they left respectfully. I mean, at this point, what is there to do? Like, I think enough is enough now. I don't want to see any more of Kimbella and Yandy's beef. I just don't, okay, it's enough now. It's enough. Kimbella's going to keep on saying ridiculous reasons why she has beef with Yandy, and it makes no sense. Just find something else to do. Lord have mercy. So anyway, some sort of sanity. We see Papoose and Remy, they're on their way to the courthouse, and she's headed to court. They're both nervous, and Papoose is just like, I have a strong feeling that this is going to work out in your favor, being real positive. Remy's a nervous wreck. Again, everything was thrown out, but it's good to see them talking about this and going through this, and Remy is doing a good job staying out the mess, and I like that. I like every once in a while her and Papoose show up. Yeah, I don't want Remy mingling and mixing with the mess that's going on with the other ladies. So that's where the episode ends. I have no idea what's going to be happening next week. I don't want to see. I want to be pleasantly or unpleasantly surprised. This episode was whack. Growing up hip hop, Loving Hip Hop Miami was much better. Like, this is starting to drag out, child. I don't care about Tahiri. Tahiri has no storyline. Can you guys give her something to do? Like, give her a fragrance line like you did Jonathan, like a fake fragrance line. Where is Mama Jones? We saw Mama Jones last week. She's not here this week. I want Mama Jones. Where's Miss Nancy? That's all I got, Royal Family. So hopefully you enjoyed this struggle review. I did the best that I could. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the commentary. Be sure to check out the other awesome videos on the channel. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. We would love to have you join our royal family discussions that we have about just about everything in reality TV nonsense. So I definitely appreciate you watching. Be sure to drop down in the comments. I would love to hear your feedback. Tell me what your thoughts are as best you can, royal family. So I am going to wrap up this struggle review. I thank you for watching until the end. I appreciate it. Royal family, I'll see you soon. Until next time, peace.